want to make it clear here at Races and Fun that we have not received any monetary benefit from Slamman Customs to make this review today. We have received tracks from Slamman Customs and been asked to make an honest review about their product. Thank you to Slamman Customs for sending in the awesome tracks that we will be discussing today. With the 180-degree banked curve you see here right now, well, these curves are extremely easy to assemble and they fit perfectly with the Hot Wheels track. Could not be any more convenient. They're also very sturdy and durable and allow for really smooth racing amongst the vehicles. It's well built, just like the 45 modular curves, which are a little bit more versatile as a track creator. You can adapt these modular curves to fit chicanes, as you can see here, as the car runs smoothly through them. You can use it for 90-degree turns. You put two of them together in the same direction. And you can also use it for 180-degree turns if you have four of them to string it together. Not to mention three of them being a nice intermediary curve if you want to go for something unusual. The tracks, again, are very smooth as the cars race through them, stable and durable, and really a great product that fits very well with the Hot Wheels track. As it slides right into there, no trouble at all. For more information about all the products, prices, and shipping, you can visit Slamman Customs on Facebook and Instagram or at slammancustoms@gmail.com. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan and welcome to a track with Slamman Customs as its star. We have a bunch of banked hairpins, slightly banked hairpins, that feature the Slamman Customs 180-degree turn. Mustangs today, our first team of 8 as we're back to 1v1 racing. And they will be heading up against today's fantasy cars. We haven't seen them in a little while. Let's head to the track. 12 Ford Mustang and the Grand Cross. Mustang and the Cross to roll out. And a little bobble there from the Cross. And he's going to lose a full length through the first straight and lose more through the turn. But here's some acceleration as we head to the next curve, also made by Slamman Customs. You can see that very noticeable black design. And we have a long straight where we have an over and underpass where they switch lanes, and the Cross there on the right side finally finds the acceleration to take the lead, but does struggle through the bank. But he is all right through the end by a couple of lengths. He maintains the lead, and we get a time stamp here to look at, 13:18. And we like to keep our eye on that because that can give us some foreshadowing to how the next rounds may look. Moto Wing and the Ford Mustang. This one in 07. A bright blue design. And the Moto Wing starting off strong here, getting that inside line as well. But here comes the Ford Mustang, really pushed out of that bank with a ton of extra speed and starts to run away with it right here. We do have that slight under and overpass, and as he switches over to the right side. And the Moto slows down more through that third pin. We got the final one. And it looks good for the Ford Mustang. The finish line comes up on you so quickly as you head to that final hairpin. And let's see what time he's set right here. 13:58. A little slower than the first round. Ford Mustang and Eric Stein rod. Oh, Mustang started off very well and lost all speed. Must have hit something there on the road or a little bit of jerk in the tires, but it looks like the rod is going to take this one over in spades. Look at the distance between the two. Haven't seen a race that far apart for many weeks now. We hit that third hairpin, a little bobbly through it, but the Ford Mustang, that bright yellow vehicle, nowhere to be seen. Barely crosses over through the camera. Do we see him come down? There he goes, but way late, and the rod not doing very well either. 14:69 will not look good for him in the future rounds if he can't speed it up by a second or two. Difference between those two, almost 3 seconds. Electro Silhouette and the 13 Ford Mustang. Electro Silhouette with a name like that, I'm expecting something fast and really ninja-like even. Not too much noise, but a lot of speed. But not going very well for the Silhouette as he slows down by every turn. Speed is dropping quickly. Can he get some acceleration out of this third hairpin? Maybe a little bit, but not enough to catch up to the Mustang, who has it through the final turn, a few lengths ahead, and there you go. Not a lot of a straight there at the end. So once you had that fourth hairpin, well, things really seem to be decided. 1283, by the way, Ford Mustang and the Rip Rod to go next. That's the best time we've seen today, down into the 12s. Rip Rod looks like a vehicle that has been squeezed together front to back. Well, he rolls out much faster than the Mustang at hand, and he's holding a consistent pace as we run towards the third hairpin. Looking really good. Now he has the downhill here, and he just stays consistent. Little speed boost there at the end as he drops downhill the outside line, and he's got it by a mile. A slow time, though, compared to that of what we saw a couple rounds ago, but this Mustang didn't even hold up to the yellow one we saw get 17. Didn't even finish the course. That final hill is just too much for him. And, well, that's a unfortunate way to finish. That timer will just keep going up infinitely until the officials cut him a break. Rip Rod looked very fast through the course, but it only comes through with a 14.68. Not very good as we head towards further on rounds. (21, 22), and it ticks up. Jet Z and the Mustang Concept. Jet Z, Mustang, ooh, shaky out of the gate. You saw that Mustang kind of laterally wiggle as we left the gate, and that's gonna hurt him a little bit, and you can see he is the faster vehicle right now. He just got off to a bad footing. Will that allow the Jet Z to hold just enough of a lead as we head towards the end of the course? Right now, the Jet Z's got a couple of lengths. Here comes the hairpin. They do switch the lanes. Concept, ooh, falling behind. And that start may have killed his speed, and he can't seem to dig himself out of that hole. Across is the Jet Z, 14.23, and that's become about average now for the winner. 14.55, not bad for the Concept, but a tough start. Mustang and La Fasta. La Fasta speeds out of the gate and drops quickly behind as the Mustang stabilizes into a high pace. And as we roll towards the second hairpin, here's the bank, and well, the Mustang comes out nice and strong. The La Fasta, not very fasta, if you ask me. And maybe this Mustang is just a prodigy. They overpass. Here comes the final straight. Mustang holding really well, and he's not going to make any mistakes as he comes across. Not the best time we've seen today, but definitely a fast vehicle and could put up an under 13 on the board in future rounds with a 13.36. Nothing to sneeze at for sure. Maybe with a better start. Lethal Diesel and the Ford Mustang Cobra. The Diesel starts out strong, and can he edge ahead? Yes, he can. The Cobra struggling to find footing through the first hairpin. Here comes the inside line for the Cobra, and well, he does grab it, but it's going to be tough to make up all that speed. Look at all the length now between the two vehicles. The Cobra, well, looks like it's not going to be his day. He'll run to the outside white again, and will fall short. 12.79, that is the best time we've had today. 400ths better than the 12.83. And we have 5 fantasy cars and 3 Mustangs to speak for as we head to round 2. Cars will be picking up speed here as we have the Ford Mustang and the Grand Cross to roll out here. Remember the Grand Cross from the first race of round 1 and started off behind but accelerated very well through the final couple of hairpins, and it was this straight last race where he took over as well. Look at him now a few lengths ahead. The Mustang not giving up yet. He's slowly but surely edging through, trying to find room here at the end. Can he? The Cross holding true to the end, and by a few lengths will set the new best time here at the Slandman Customs course, 12.70. And that's a surprising record. Rip Rod and Jet Z. Remember the Grand Cross, he was good in round 1, but I wouldn't have expected a 12.70 here in round 2. Certainly picking it up. Jet Z and Rip Rod. Remember the Rip Rod looking fast in this previous race, but not coming out as strong as you thought when we saw the times at the end. Jet Z, on the other hand, a little bit better And you can see that between the lengths of them. He might cut into 13 here as well. Rip Rod trying to make a push for it there as he went inside line and had acceleration out of the hairpin, but not nearly enough to take over. Few lengths between them, and a 14.26 for the Jet Z. Not good enough to combat the cross, but, well, at least he won this round. Lethal Diesel, Ford Mustang. The Diesel, oh, he had 12.79 last time, and he's going to be out for blood now as the Grand Cross now holds that bragging rights of the fastest time. This Mustang, however, well, he's looking even better than the Lethal Diesel as he rolls into the third hairpin. He starts to slow down a little bit, and he has to take an outside line here, and he's going to struggle here through the final curve. Can the Lethal Diesel cast up? No! And they definitely fumbled the name there a little bit, but it doesn't matter. He fumbled the win, and 12.97 there for the Ford Mustang. Erkenstein Rod, Ford Mustang, the 07. And we saw the Rod have a pretty easy win in his first race because the other car just decided not to show up today. Let's see if he can hold through with a more devious competitor. Right now, this 07 Mustang starting to run away with it here in the third straight as they overpass. He does get inside line, and that's going to be good for him going towards the final curve. And he goes inside once again with that nice lane, and we have 13.42. Not a bad time, but the Rod, much worse. My money is on the Grand Cross right now, but I think the Lethal Diesel might be working hard as well. Fantasy 2, Mustang 2. Actually, now that I see it, Lethal Diesel, well, he won't be in the semifinals. Jet Z and the Ford Mustang. This Mustang right here, probably the only one that can really give the Grand Cross a run for his money here in the final race between the two, the finals as they call it. Right now he is speeding through the first couple of turns. I mean, that is impressive right there. We're starting to really run away. We're in the semifinals, and look at the gap between the two of them. He does get to the outside line right there as he drops down the hill, and this might be a new best time. It looked very fast to me. He comes across and 4/100th of a second off the best time today, and that will be the car that will give the Grand Cross the pressure he needs, and maybe we'll even see a new record here in the finals. 12.74, 12.70, Grand Cross Ford Mustang 13, and this 07, can he outs the Grand Cross here in this race? Time-wise, it wouldn't seem that way, but the Grand Cross, well, maybe he's tiring out. You know, as per usual, Grand Cross started out behind and then accelerated back into the lead. Now he holds quite a healthy lead going through the third curve. Here we go to the drop, and it looks to be all over for the 07 Mustang around the curve, and yet it is. 12.83. What a time. Unfortunately, a little bit higher than the record, but still an impressive time. We saw 12.83 earlier on today from a different racer. The finals, well, they're here. Best time of 4 rounds will be the champion, so we will be grinding out for a record here, Mustang and Grand Cross, to roll out. And we see the Mustang edging out early on. This is going to be a close one for sure. We've seen both of these cars dance around the 12.70, 12.80 mark today, a couple of times, even 3. And now it's time for them to duke it out. Ford Mustang falling behind here on the left side. This is not going to be good for the Grand Cross. I mean, for the Ford Mustang. Grand Cross, on the other hand, pretty happy as he coasts across the line and sets the best time of the day with a 12.65, and that's a way to do it. Coasting may have not been the right word there. Grand Cross, off to a terrible start. Oh my god, did you see that? Wobbled right through the start. Does start to come back here as he gets to the inside. And they're neck and neck. Ford Mustang trying to hold pace. They will go underpass, and Ford Mustang will grab these last 2 inside lines. And yes, he does. Inside to him. And here we go again. Can he set a new best? 12.65 the time to beat. And 12.65 still stands. 12.74 again for the Ford Mustang. He did hit that time before, and he's going to have to do it again if he wants to win today. Remember that outside line actually does get slightly less of an advantage, as the inside line is the one that gets 3 inside curves throughout the race. Remember, it is based on time though, so that's okay as long as we switch lanes evenly. Ford Mustang really stretching out here. Will he set a new time? 12:54, he will! And just when I think it won't be able to be cut down anymore, that it does. Mustang now in the less favorable lane, but here goes the Grand Cross in the more favorable lane. He will get 2 inside line curves here as we cross through the 3rd straight. He needs to beat the Mustang and put a new time up on the board if he's to win this race. He's not doing well going into the final curve. Oh, and there was a tough leaving from that 3rd hairpin, and he will definitely not win. Mustang coming across to also a disappointing time of about 13. But he did the damage that needed to be done. Ford Mustang with a solid 12:54, best time of the day, just ousted the Grand Cross for today's victory and won it for the Mustang team. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time on Races and Fun.